want to, first of all, before we do the introductions, and we do want to do what we did last month, which is so important, and that is for all of us to be able to share who we are and what we represent, because we don't have the same crowds every month. We have new people all the time, and we want to get to know each other, because one of the main functions of this effort is to network with each other and support each other in what we do. And of course, we have ulterior motives at the task force. We also want to know what resources you have that we haven't used yet, or asked you for, or sent people to you to get. So our ulterior motive is to find out what new beds there are, and they're always needed, what new resources and services there are, so we can help you maximize your service. So we'll do that in just a second, but I want to say that November's meeting is November 18th, and you know, those of you who come regularly know that this is a monthly meeting on the third Thursday of every month, and this meeting is nearly 30 years old, believe it or not. The task force will, I can't say celebrate, but we will mark our 30th anniversary of existence in January of 2011, which is really, really incredibly horrible news, I think, for a nation and a city and a state as resourced and wealthy as we are, to have had 30 years of working to save the lives of homeless people, but also at the same time, and just as importantly, is to make sure we understand what causes homelessness, and to do everything in our power, with our souls, minds, and bodies, to reverse that, to eliminate homelessness, and to prevent it if we can. And you know, what we're looking at as all of us adults, some of us old people now, is having spent our lives on this issue and watching it get worse in increments we could never have dreamed. We could never have dreamed that in a nation and with an administration that we all dreamed about having, we would watch everything we've hoped for go right down the tubes, and things get incrementally worse, so much worse, that it's obvious where the power and control are. They are not with our government. So in those analyses, we take advantage of the opportunity to host these meetings often, to say those things. And what I want us to do today is acknowledge and hear from organizations that have worked at the macro level. We try to do both, you know, pull drowning people out of the river and then run upstream until we fall down exhausted and see why they're falling in. These folks go upstream all the way to see what policies and intentions are throwing people in the water, are tearing down the bridges, are appropriating the land and the public resources and the resources that are supposed to be social services supports that are human rights on this planet. So I want to ask 4 people who work on those macro issues to be prepared to come and tell us in more depth about the issues they work on day. But aside from those people, let us just come up here and tell us who you are, what you do, briefly, because we are so late, but we want to pay honor and attention and gratitude for each and every person who's here.
Janelle Holden, I'm part of Food Not Bombs, which is an organization all over the world. Just celebrated 30 years. We believe that food is a right and not a privilege. And in Atlanta, we provide a vegetarian meal twice a week, once on Wednesday in Herb Park and Sunday across from City Hall East. A lot of other organizations. I'm also a member of Take Back the Land and Cop Watch.
Quickly, that Food Not Bombs is an organization of a lot of young people, and we are so crazy about them because they provide new energy and leadership and new creativity in terms of direct action, and in doing it with clever, creative ways of pointing out some things that people won't face if they just hear statistics or please won't you kinds of conversations. So it was last Christmas that Food Not Bombs wrote alternative words to Silent Night and Jingle Bells. And, well, actually it was 2 Christmases ago, and they went to serenade Debbie Starnes at her bed and breakfast in Virginia, in the park. And it was very sweet and very lovely, and there was this group of very, holiday-ish young people, and it took a number of minutes for her and her guests to understand the words. And it was about water, water everywhere, and not a drop for anybody at Peachtree Pine to drink. And so it was just the kinds of things they do, in addition to providing life support for people and putting their souls and their bodies out there on the line. They are creative young people whose leadership and energy we must hold up. So thank you for being here, really. And thank you for staying with us and being involved as you are.
My name is Joanna Sherman. I'm a caseworker at Task Force for the Homeless. I help our clients, men, women, and families finding housing, whether it's emergency shelters or permanent housing, apartments, different kind of programs. I help people find what they need.
My name is Juanita Zachary, and I work for the Task Force for the Homeless. I've been there like half of the 30 years. I serve as a walk-in coordinator at the Task Force for the Homeless. I oversee the people that come in, that walks in for service, and assess their needs and see what we can do to help them.
Good afternoon. My name is Valerie Dawson, and I'm a support service director. I work mainly with the staff as well as assist Anita, and I work direct service as well. And I like to say that the task force is very unique and different from a lot of agencies, because just like Johanna said, we do wherever's needed. I was just thinking about a situation this morning. A young man went into the emergency room last night at Piedmont Hospital, and he didn't have the funds for his prescription. And so I was able to call and talk with the patient representative, and they were able to provide him his prescription, to fill that prescription, at least one of them. And many of you may have clients that can't get that prescription filled. Call the patient advocate at the different hospitals, because normally that is the way. Thank you.
Chris Lattimore, and I found my way to the task force for the homeless, by way of homelessness. And I went through a couple of stages, phase 1 and 2, and, which brought me up to where I am now in the transition program of the task force. And what I do is I work over in the day office, just like the rest of my colleagues, and as a case manager. So what I do over there is I assist people, just like Zachary said. And, as far as getting IDs and referrals to places for birth certificates, medical and grading, and other different areas around the city, dental, mercy cares, and veterans through certain limited services that we have there for them. And it's just a pleasure and a joy, and just thank all of you for coming and being a part of this, to be able to utilize hopefully some of your resources as well as you utilize ours. So I just thank you, and God bless you.
Mark is a graduate student at Georgia State University, and he's another one of the bright lights in the youth culture and movement who is studying applied anthropology. So let me just let him say more. I'll say too much. And then the next one is to come on up.
Thank you very much, Anita. Really wasn't planning on saying anything, but so I'm a graduate student at Georgia State studying applied anthropology. I've been particularly interested in homelessness ever since I've grown up. I grew up in Atlanta, just north of Atlanta in the suburbs. and I was always disturbed by people seemingly their lack of awareness, or really lack of compassion, really lack of compassion for human dignity, walking by someone and not really even acknowledging that they're a human. So the study of anthropology is really the study of humans, and so through my work, hopefully for the next few years, we'll be working with the Task Force for the Homeless to try and raise awareness to political members in the Atlanta community, and also really promote the aspect of community that I see present here. So because I think that's important to combating kind of this harsh individualism that we've grown up with in the society. So yes, I will be recording, and I guess just open and aware to everything that you guys have to offer. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christine Richards. We provide shelter, supportive housing, and permanent housing. We are located on Bankhead and Martin Luther King. That's who we are. So we have an office at 2001 Martin Luther King Junior Drive. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Diane Hughes, and I work for Our House in Decatur. At our house, we provide free quality childcare for homeless families. The kids are ages 6 weeks to pre-K age. And along with the childcare, we also provide supportive services in the form of case management, Varna passes, diapers, and we just work on connecting families to other services as well.
Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Griffin. Involved as an activist in my community in DeKalb County. But lately I have been getting involved with the Women's Resource Center, which is dealing with domestic violence on women. There's also domestic violence with men as well. But I have been volunteering with that, and the climate today, especially with the economy as you know as it is, and there's a lot of tension in households, and a lot of domestic violence is on the increase. So I've been involved with that, which is also partnered with the Metro Atlanta Task Force. You can find information out on the internet, and they do provide a wide range of services. Tonight, they will be having a candlelight vigil, if anyone is interested. I know it's late notice, at 7 o'clock p.m. At the Decatur, downtown Decatur, and the square. And they will be reading out the names of unfortunately, some of the victims who have died through domestic violence. So if you have the time, please come out and support.
My name is Willa Rose Johnson. I'm an organizer with ABLE, which is Atlantans Building Leadership for Empowerment. And as Neil said, and I really liked the way he said it, ABLE started because we know that the power and the control is not in the hands of the people that should have it. And we are a faith-based organization, so we kind of think people of faith and values and good conscience should be the ones with the power and control to have a say in how the state, the country, and hopefully the world will be run. That's not the way it is now, so that's what we're working on for the last few years. We are a congregation-based community organizing institute. We have about 30 congregations of all different faiths, races, types, creeds, across Atlanta. We're constantly wanting to grow. What we do is develop leadership within congregations. So it's leadership development for people of faith so we can take back the power. We have been working on 3 issues over the past couple of years: healthcare reform, quality public education, and immigration reform. And I'm not going to get into how we did that, but we obviously pushed for a public option and pushed for any, and we're not really happy, but we did support passing the healthcare reform bill the way it was. Working on comprehensive immigration reform, stopping laws like Arizona from coming into Georgia. We also want a statewide anti-racial profiling law, which we've been working on for 2 years with State Senator Gloria Butler, because Georgia is one of whatever 50 minus 23 is of the states that do not have an anti-racial profiling law. Are you surprised that Georgia is one of the states that doesn't have an anti-racial? Is anybody surprised? I'm not really surprised either, but we need to stop that ridiculousness. So we are trying to get Georgia to be one of the places that actually believes that racial profiling should be illegal, not legal, the way that the country is kind of turning. And also quality public education. We've been in the Capitol working against vouchers, and working also for the Plant Protection Act, which has been a struggle to make it so that's an unpaid day of leave for people who need to take care of their kids or take care of their elder family members. That has not been successful yet, but we're still fighting. What's coming up now, as you know, this election really important, and we often don't know what we're voting about, right? Especially these amendments and the referendums. They're written as though someone who lived in 300 years from now wrote them, and we don't understand what they're saying, we don't know what we're voting for, and so we're having a forum with the U.S. Senate candidates are going to come, and they're going to have to answer the questions that we want them to answer. It's not going to be them debating and trying to make each other look stupid. They're going to answer questions about immigration, about healthcare reform, public education, transportation, and the federal budget. Because the community wants to know what they really are going to do about it, not just see them tell each other how stupid they are. That's going to happen. We're also going to educate the community about the referendums, the amendments, and the issues that are at stake on this ballot. That is this Tuesday coming up, the 26th at 6:30. We are partnering with Morehouse College to do this, so it's going to be on Morehouse's campus. You know what? I'm going to pass out these flyers, not just leave them on the table, because I want each of you to be there. And so I want to make sure you have the flyer. It's also important that they see that the community, and not just the community they expect, but a united community of, I guess it was obvious the fact that we work on immigration. We are churches that are Latino, we are white, African American, all different kinds of churches, some churches that have several races involved in one congregation, coming together to say we want to take this state back. So it's important that they see, the candidates see, the community is organized. They're not sitting down and acting like they can't do anything about this, but they're out there, they're going to vote, they're going to know what they're voting about, and one day we're going to have Georgia the way we want it to be, right? So that is our prayer, that is our work, our hard work. If you have any questions, I don't think there's any more time, but feel free to ask me. Thanks for your time.
My name is Charles Cunningham, and I'm the Outreach Director for the Berean Seventh-day Adventist Church here in Atlanta, Georgia, where Dr. Carlton B. Bird is the senior pastor. Part of what we do is every Wednesday afternoon between the hours of 1 and 6 p.m., we serve between 500 and 800 families where we provide food baskets for these individuals. Not only do we provide the food baskets for these individuals, but we also have a clothing closet as well. This coming November the 21st, we'll be doing our third annual Thanksgiving dinner, to where on last year we fed over 1,000 individuals. Not only did we give them a traditional Thanksgiving dinner, but we also had a health and dental screening, we also had a clothes closet, and we also provided just your basic services to those individuals. We'll be doing that same thing again this year, where we will have additional services as facials for the ladies and also haircuts for the men. Why I'm here today is I want to get connected. And so I am here hoping that by sitting and listening, I had no intentions of coming before you, but by me sitting and listening to you and networking with you, it's our desire to be a part of the community in a very practical and realistic way. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Virginia Jackson. I'm with the Bible Book Club. The Bible Book Club came about as a result of the kinds of thinking that all of you who have spoken before me had the same idea that I had. It's only that I teach it through the scriptures. I teach to young children. We have a Bible study that goes from place to place every Friday, 12:30. We have recently started going to the homes of people who, and I hesitate to use this word because one lady who was 97 years old passed away a few weeks ago, and she said, I'm not bedridden because I get up and put my feet on the floor every day. So I take it to people who just maybe cannot get out of the house and have not been able to get out of the house for a certain period of time. I also come here and I hear about the resources that you have, and because I believe that all of us are to be blessed either directly or indirectly, I carry this information back to my neighbor, to people who I meet on the street, so that when there's a need arising in the community, as a woman of God, I can provide those resources to them. Thank you so much, and God bless the Lord.
Hi, I'm Lynn Grieber, and I've worked with the Task Force for the Homeless for over 10 years, this year as a volunteer, and I work in the area of advocacy and education. And I'm the one that does the handouts that are back there, and sometimes I wonder, you know, we use all this paper to put them out there, and the reason that I put them out there is so that we can read them and share them with other people, because I truly believe that the disconnect between the people and people who are homeless, people who have and who have not, is the key to why it's allowed to go on. Why would people turn their backs, turn their heads, and turn away from people who are homeless and don't have what they need? Because they don't understand. So when I make out the handouts, they are about the issues that are behind why all this happens to begin with. And when Anita mentioned it earlier, I thought I would get up and say, please spread the word, read them and spread the word, so we're not just cutting down and wasting trees.
Good afternoon. My name is Vicki Blunt, and I am from the Iconium Mission, my sister's house. Well, formerly Iconium Mission. We recently changed our name to Atlanta Mission, and we're looking at what our primary focus and goal is, and it is to end homelessness, period. You know, that we're trying to get to the point where there is no more homeless people looking for somewhere to stay or eat. And so I'm glad to be here. Everybody's probably familiar with me, and I'm just glad to be here to work to do a little networking. Thank you.
My name is Kente Allah. I represent the New Black Panther Party. And I come here today to show alliance and brotherhood to everybody. One thing we break down, we're doing police brutality, and also we showing alliance to a lot of the third world countries.
My name is Miles Edwards. I'm with ATL Web Mag. I'm an independent journalist that basically covers the news around the Atlanta area. I met Miss Betty and the rest of the Atlanta Task Force sometime last month because I did an article about the homeless problem here in Atlanta. And that's basically it. And since then, basically, I like to come to these meetings just to see what's going on in the community, see what type of news I could cover, and so on and so forth.